century of the hoax. We hanky-panky men have always been with you.
That's a fact.
What's new are
the experts.
The experts.
The so-called experts.
Experts are the new oracles.
Who are greatly pretentious.
They speak to us with the absolute authority of the computer.
Pretend to know something, what they only know very superficially.
And we bow down before them. They're God's own gift to the faker.
All the world loves to see the experts and the establishment made a fool of.
Let's say we could find a Modigliani made by Kissling, a Modigliani by Elmire, and one Modigliani by Modigliani. It could be anyone from Knödler till Pearls or any of the great ones who consider themselves great and experts. And if any of them recognize which one is which...
And if the lawyers would just let us, we could name you one highly respected museum which boasts of an important collection of post-impressionists, every single one of which was painted by Elmire.
Elmire, as the great faker of the 20th century, becomes a modern folk hero for the rest of us, who have a bit of lossity in ourselves, but simply don't have the courage or the opportunity to express it.
When you wrote his biography, you don't think you have been a little hard on him?
Some people even say, after I did read the book of Clifford Irving about you, I like you even more than before. You exploded the myth of the infallibility of the art dealers and museum directors, and that you exposed their crookedness, their evilness, and viciousness.
I went around to the art galleries, not with my book, but with a catalog which included a great many paintings that had been sold over the past few years. In this catalog was this Modigliani, which is a Modigliani by Elmire.
He worked very little, he died very early, so if they added to fewer paintings or fewer drawings, it's not going to destroy his oeuvre.
I would say this is a fake, and the art gallery owner would say, well, yes, of course. I mean, you can see it's a fake because Modigliani would never have drawn the line of the arm parallel to the line of the dress that way, and the background is very badly done and the signature isn't right. In the next gallery, I would show them this Modigliani in the catalog and say, that's a genuine Modigliani.
Possibly, yes.
And they would look at it and say, well, yes, you can see it's one of his finest Modiglianis. It's a portrait of Mademoiselle Eboutin, and we know it very well, and it's reproduced everywhere. After that, I must say I lost my faith in the concept of expertise.
I don't feel bad for Modigliani. I feel good for me.
You name him, he paints them. You'll do your Dufy, Van Dongen, Derain, Braque, Bonnat, Vlaminck. Would you like a nice Matisse?
Many of these drawings are very weak. Matisse's lines were never that sure as mine. He was hesitant when he made a drawing, you know. He added to it a little more and a little more. It wasn't as flowing, it wasn't as sure as mine. I had to hesitate to make it more Matisse-like. Well, I would like to see any expert or any museum director or any art dealer would know which one is a Matisse and which one is by Elmire. And I'm ready to accept the challenge.
One nod from an expert in that piece of canvas would be worth maybe a couple of $100,000. And now, with your permission, a bit of verse by Kipling. When first the flush of a newborn sun fell on the green and gold, our father Adam sat under the tree and scratched with a stick in the mold. And the first rude sketch that the world had seen was joy to his mighty heart, till the devil whispered behind the leaves. It's pretty, but is it art?
It's pretty, but is it art? Well, how is it valued?
The value depends on opinion. Opinion depends on the experts. A faker like Elmire makes fools of the experts, so who's the expert? Who's the faker?
I know one thing. I never offered a painting or a drawing to a museum who didn't buy it. That never refused one. Never.
What's he up to now? This isn't a forgery. No, not this time. This is a portrait by Elmire
Et voilà.
of another famous art forger.
Michel-Ange.
Michelangelo, no less, signed. I must say I'm honored. My signature, forged by Elmire on a real Elmire, is really something. You know, art forgery used to be admired as an art. And though Michelangelo even used smoke on some of his fakes to antique them, like some of the rest of us, he finally went straight.
Et voilà.
Elmire, reformed and exposed in the reverse order, was till just recently the island's #1 celebrity. But now the crown has passed from the old emperor of the hoax to the pretender.
Tomorrow the party is a big party, so don't miss it tomorrow at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.
The ex-Grand Master of